This smells like when you go through your mom's makeup as a kid. Alright, so today we're doing a full face of drugstore makeup. I feel like I've been doing so many friggin' first impressions lately because of 15 days of foundation and just new product releases and stuff. I just wanted to sit down, do a full face, and talk to you guys about my current favorite drugstore products, the things I keep reaching for, the products I recommend, and the things that you need in your life. Don't forget the 15 days of foundation page is still up. We're still shooting to raise $20,000 by April 9th. So I'll link that down below right at the top of the description box. If you haven't picked up your t-shirt or mug yet, 100% of the proceeds go to Project Beauty Share, and we're getting close. We're getting close. Especially in the last few days, you guys have been killing it. So I'm excited. Let's keep it going. On and up, upwards and onwards. I feel like these kind of videos are the most helpful because you can actually see the products I'm consistently reaching for that I recommend and also how I use them. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do while you're watching, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, you can join the Bayrito family and subscribe. I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. All right, I have all of my products in a handy little box here. So we're starting out with primer. My favorite pore filling primer, whether it's drugstore or high-end, the one I find that just works the best is the Revlon Photo Ready Pore Reducing Primer. This one is bomb. I feel like this does so much more than other pore filling primers I've tried, and I always use a setting spray since I have dry skin right now underneath my makeup, some kind of hydrating spray, but before I do that, I'll go in with this primer if I want to fill in kind of my pores a little bit more that day. I'll put this on my forehead sometimes, but typically I'll just keep this around my nose area. You can see a friggin' difference. I think you guys can see that, I hope. But it just kind of blurs it out. It really does. It's bizarre. Don't know how they do it, but they did it. And Revlon makes a few that look like this, so make sure you're getting the pore reducing primer. Sometimes if I have some left over, I'll just pat some right on my pores on the center. So the spray I'll use underneath my makeup most often are the ones I talked about in my dry skin foundation routine. That is a routine that I still stand by. It works amazing for me. If you have dry skin, check out that video. But since this is a full face drugstore, my other kind of go-to one from the drugstore is either the Hard Candy Hydrating, which I cannot find right now for the life of me, or the Pixie Hydrating Milky Mist. I'm almost like halfway done with this thing. This has hyaluronic acid in it, which is great for moisture. And I'm just gonna shake this up and then spritz some on my face. The mister on this one is 10 out of 10. This reminds me of those things in like hella hot places where they have the misters outside restaurants and stuff. That's how fine the mister on this thing feels. So my go-to foundation lately, this is like holy grail status for me. So many of you guys have told me you got this and it works amazing on oily skin, dry skin, normal skin, depending obviously on the products you use underneath and over it. But this is like one of those products that I feel confident recommending to any skin type. CYO Long Lasting Life Proof Foundation. If you like dewy skin. There is something so beautiful about this foundation, mixes in well with other foundations. You can get pretty good coverage on its own depending on how much you use, but because I'm currently trying foundations for the wrap-up video for 15 days of foundation, mixing foundations, trying them different ways, today I'm going to actually mix the CYO Long Lasting Life Proof in 102. This isn't the lightest shade. Usually if I use it on its own, I'll use 101, but I'm going to try mixing 102 with LA Girl Pro Matte Foundation. If you guys saw my whole video on this, you know it was very patchy, weird stuff was happening, but I feel like overall I liked the finish of it. It had this really pretty light matte kind of finish, light as in it didn't look heavy or cakey, so I really want to try and make this one work. But CYO on its own is perfection. You can only get CYO at Walgreens. I've only been able to find it online Walgreens. I'm terrified that they're going to discontinue this, so I literally already have 3 backups of the shade 101. I have a shade dark for like in the off chance that I ever self-tan again. I just mixed way too much, whoops. Oh, I might have mixed this light. So the LA Girl one oxidizes a lot, and actually the 102 shade of CYO oxidizes, but the 101 shade doesn't. So this is gonna look light at first, and then it should kind of oxidize to the correct shade. All right, basically this was me babbling on about lighting for like 3 minutes. So I just fast forwarded everything. Long story short, I'm working on the lighting. Ooh, that does not look good on my forehead. I actually really don't like this combo. Dude, I cannot make this one work. I've been trying. Everything I mix it with, I have not liked it with. Still is looking pretty patchy, and it actually looks pretty bad on my forehead. So I'm going to take some of CYO 101 just by itself and put that right on the center just to hopefully kind of smooth things out a bit, make it look a little bit better. If not, I'm going to be wiping all this off and we're going to redo this. Okay, that's helping. Still looking a little tragic. This is another way I use CYO though, is if I have a foundation that's just totally not sitting well on my face, I'll just pop some of this on the center, and it just kind of makes the rest of your face look better because you still have this glowy, smooth center at least. So moving on to concealer, I actually have been trying so many concealers pretty much throughout the 15 days actually. When I test them with foundation, I don't pull it all the way down, I just keep it right under here so it doesn't affect the foundation at all. But there's been so many new concealer launches, so I'm thinking for Foundation Friday this week before the wrap-up video goes up on Monday, I think this Foundation Friday I'm going to do kind of like a concealer roundup, what I've been thinking of all these new concealer launches. Let me know if you guys want to see that. But there have been a few new drugstore concealer launches. The first one I tried out during 15 days of foundation during the light illusion that I told you guys about. This Flower Beauty one I am going to be using today, but it's too dark on its own. It's actually looking light on camera. See? What the heck, man? It looks darker than my foundation in real life right now. So because of the shade, I am going to mix in a little bit of the Maybelline Fit Me, the new lightest shade. Now this shade is pretty yellow, so I don't love this on its own. I actually prefer the shade 15 over the shade 5. Same with the new shade of the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. Also doesn't work for my skin tone because it's just so yellow. A couple of the foundation videos, you guys were commenting how bright and yellow my under eyes were, and I know it's because I was trying these out. But I'm just going to blend this out with my Morphe G38. My favorite concealer combo lately is not drugstore, but I'll talk about it in Friday's video, the concealer video. The Flower Beauty concealer is beautiful on its own. I just wish they came out with more shades. I've gotten a lot of questions from you guys on Snapchat lately about what I have been using to brighten up my under eyes so much. Some days I feel like it looks too bright, like I'm like, whoa, need to tone it down bright, because this product I'm going to talk about can look a little bit overpowering, but I think if you have fair skin, this could be a lifesaver for the under eyes, because as we know, it's hard to find powders that are light enough for under there. I've talked about my Physicians Formula correcting powder for years, but this one, just the formula of it has been kind of stepping above it a little bit. This is actually from the Wish makeup video. You can find this brand on Amazon though. It's not a Wish only thing, not that makes it any less sketchy, I'm just saying. But this just says Maycheer press powder, and it is this soft light white. It has a little bit of a yellow tint, which I think is why it can look a little bit much on me. I don't use this on its own because it would be way too brightening, so I actually mix in my Physicians Formula powder. This is the same powder I mix in with the correcting powder normally. This one's in the shade Translucent Light, so when I mix these two together, they just make a really great shade, as long as I don't get too much of this white one, because again, you can look very Casper very quick with this one. It gives you this almost like airbrushed under eye kind of look, very soft, beautiful powder, and it's a few bucks, which is why I'm including it in this video. Drugstore priced, if not cheaper, but if you want a drugstore option, I always use the Physicians Formula correcting powder too. So the brush I've been using lately is the BH Cosmetics 137, and then I'll just press it under my eye, and if I feel like I got too much Physicians Formula, like this time I did, like it just darkened it a little bit, I'll just go in with some more of the white over top, and you'll see it just brighten right up. And it just gives you this very flawless, soft kind of look under there. I wish they made kind of a more salmon toned one, because I do find sometimes a yellow tone can be a little bit much on my skin tone, but for some people that would work great. I don't like dragging this, I just press this on. That's what gives me the best coverage underneath my eyes, and using a brush like this, it's a little bit more dense instead of like a loose fluffy brush, just doesn't work for my under eyes. So this next product is one that I've tried multiple times and I still don't quite know what I think of it. This is the Flower Beauty Illuminating, what's this called? Satin, Miracle Glow Satin Finishing Powder. So this is supposed to be like a glowy setting powder, not setting spray. So today I kind of just wanted to give this one another go. I always use the Furless CB4 brush with any powders I apply, and I just kind of pat it on so I don't hopefully remove any of the foundation underneath. And ooh, this one is so hit or miss for me. I feel like it really depends on the foundation I have underneath it. I feel like I need a shit ton of bronzer right now. I'm not going to powder my forehead. I like the dewy look, and especially with that combo that I didn't like today, not going to mess it up more with powder. Not quite as bad as some loose powders. I actually did in Monday's video, the Becca powder. Whoa. Definitely doesn't give me as bad of results as a lot of loose powders do. If you saw Monday's video, you know what I'm talking about. I still wouldn't say I like this one. I might actually take a little bit of the Physicians Formula one just to get that coverage back. There we go. Physicians Formula always comes through. So I have two drugstore brow products that I have been really enjoying lately. The first one is the Maybelline Tattoo Studio Brow Gel in the shade Deep Brown. Now, this product I love the finished result of, and I like the actual formula. I don't like anything about this, but when I have it on in the way that I'm going to show you how I apply it. I really like it. I don't think this is going to be for everyone because it's not actually like a brow gel. I feel like this is more of, remember that NYX waterproof, like the squeeze tube brow product? It almost is more like that. I think they should have made it in that kind of packaging where you just squeeze them out, dip a brush in, and then go in and apply it, because this really does not work brushing onto your brows. You get way too much product. It kind of just clumps on this applicator and it just turns into a total disaster. So the way that I like to apply this is by just dipping my brush actually right onto there and then going into my brow. The other product I've been liking, this one is like a more recent find for me, is the Brow Stylist Boost and Set. And this one I also don't think is going to be for everyone. If you don't like the crunchy kind of brow where you can feel it on, you won't like this. But I really love the applicator of this. Like, finally someone is making a brow product that has a small brow thing that you can just brush on. I like this for more natural days. If I'm doing a full-on brow, I'll usually go in with the Maybelline one, but if I want just a quick fill-in kind of thing, I'll go in with this one. I wish they made a darker shade because this is the darkest and it's not that dark, but today we're going to use the Maybelline one. So I literally just dip my brush onto this thing. Before I do that, I spoolie my brows, but I have no idea where my spoolie thing is. Found him. So I'm going to spoolie this out first. So then I just go in and fill it in like I normally would with like a dip brow or something. And I love the shade of this. I find it hard to find a brown that's not too warm, but also that's not too gray. And this one is just like the exact shade that I want in life. So I'm going to be having a shadow and schmooze coming. I wanted to wait until after the wrap-up video so I could kind of talk about the series and everything and just how everything went. I cannot wait to get my brows touched up once I'm off Accutane. I'm just like so excited to do a bunch of treatments. I want to get facials. I want to do micro needling for scarring. Let me know if you guys would want me to document that kind of stuff. So my favorite drugstore eye primer is actually the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. I've talked about this before. It's a great eye primer. Just dab it on, blend it out. Okay, so this product is a totally unnecessary step, but I just wanted to show you this because I use this in a different way than I think it's intended for, but I actually really like how it looks when I use it like this, what I'm about to show you. But this is the Milani Prep Set and Glow powder. I don't like this as an all-over face powder, but I really like this on natural days, actually as like an under eye brightener. It gives you a very like lifted, illuminated look without looking like you have like straight up highlighter underneath your eyes. Kind of just brightens everything, or even just as a really subtle highlight like on the cheekbone right here. As you can see, it just gives you like a really pretty subtle glow, and it just kind of lifts and brightens. And I do like to bring it kind of into my inner corner. I like the look of a little bit illuminated under eyes. It just makes you look not quite as dead. I'm just applying this where I normally would a highlighter too. It smells kind of weird though. This smells like when you go through your mom's makeup as a kid. I feel like I need some major warmth to my face right now, so we're gonna use, this is one of my favorite drugstore bronzers ever, Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, not the lightest shade. If you have around my skin tone, do not get the lightest shade. I find it to pull so much more orange on my skin than the shade Bronzer, which is the shade up. I'm all in. So because I feel like I need to warm up my skin a lot right now, I am gonna bring this up to my temples. I kind of just do whatever I'm feeling. Sometimes I do with bronzer. Sometimes I feel like it just makes me look like too muddy or something almost. This blush shade is so freaking beautiful. This is Rosa Romantica by Milani. This shade I recently picked up and it just looks so beautiful. It gives you like a warm but bronzy kind of glow. I feel like this is going to be so pretty in the summer. I have a lot of drugstore favorite highlighters, but my probably all-time top for the longest period, and one that I'm still using to this day, is the Natural Nude Shimmer Brick by Physicians Formula. You can use this on eyes, face, whatever you want. I think I want like a mix of these ones. I don't want a totally white highlight today, so I'm going to do kind of like the champagnes over here. Oh my gosh. If you have not picked this up yet, go drive yourself to Rite Aid, CVS, Walgreens, whatever you want, and pick this guy up. I don't like to bring my highlighter all the way up on my nose. I usually just put it on the tip and then my Cupid's bow, and then to kind of blend everything together, I just go back in with that same brush and blend. Sometimes I'll even rub this over the nose a little bit just to add some color there. So like I said, my favorite setting sprays right now aren't drugstore, but I kind of want to try this one today, the Milani Make It Last. I feel like I've tried this probably in a video before, but I do not remember what I think of this. I coat every friggin' inch of my face with setting spray. Setting spray just really helps to melt all those powders together and make your skin look more like skin, especially if you have dry skin. It does smell very perfumey. We'll see if that kind of mattifies a little bit as it dries, but right now it's giving me a really pretty glow. Eyeshadow palette from the drugstore that I'm completely obsessed with right now is the Milani Bold Obsessions and also the Milani Most Loved Mattes. These are the new Milani palettes, obviously. I think they're 20 bucks. If you look at like L'Oreal palettes and Maybelline palettes now, their palettes that I'm pretty sure have less shades than this are around like 15, 16 bucks now. The drugstore is not what it used to be back in the day. You get 12 shades in each one of these palettes, and they are one of the best, if not the best, drugstore eyeshadow formula I have ever felt. They are so beautiful to work with. They blend out effortlessly. They're pigmented. They're just everything you want in an eyeshadow. They are 100% worth 20 bucks in my opinion. I've been trying out the Viseart palettes. Not impressed, not impressed. And those things are friggin' 80 bucks. I would spend 80 bucks on this over that Viseart palette for 80 bucks. Here's the other one. I have no idea what kind of look I want to go for today. I kind of want to just do like a neutral, everyday kind of look, since I feel like that's kind of the theme of this video, just like the makeup I've been using and everything. And also I don't feel like I've done just like a basic brown smoky eye lately for like a talk through tutorial, whatever this is. Just tapping out that concealer a little bit. Ooh, I like this setting spray. Did give me a glow, and it feels like it kind of locked everything in. So I'm gonna start out with this shade right here for the crease. It feels weird titling videos like this or calling videos like tutorials because I literally am just putting makeup on my face. I just kind of play with makeup, and however it turns out, it turns out. I'm not a makeup artist. I just like makeup over here. I loved one of the comments on the 10-year-old does my makeup video where someone was saying it's so refreshing seeing someone just have so much fun with makeup, and it almost like gives you a reminder that that's what this is. Makeup is fun. You can do whatever the heck you want. It's just a creative outlet. Ooh, maybe I'll use this like champagne shade. Yeah, maybe we won't do all matte. I kind of want to use that champagne shade. I'm gonna go back in with the mattes palette first. So I've been loving this Japanese brush. It's kind of just like the, you know, like MAC 215 or Sigma makes ones, Morphe, they all make brushes like this, but this one is hella soft, this Japanese one. I got it on sale at Ulta. I'm gonna take this shade right here. I'm kind of lightly bringing it inwards. I'm gonna blend it out afterwards. I'm just kind of placing it down. I always do this step kind of messy because I'm going to be putting lid shades and other shades down anyway, so I'm just going to go in with my big fluffy blending brush. This is the Morphe M511. Just realized I had this electronic sitting on a wet wipe. Whoops. I'm going to take this brown shade right here. I don't think I've used this one yet. It doesn't look like it. I'm just placing this right into the crease to deepen it up a bit right there. And whenever I'm doing eyeshadow, I have to let my eyes drop, because if you're going like this, your eyes look totally different than when you're actually like resting in position, you know? So I just try and drop it down so I can see what it's actually gonna look like. Now I'm gonna go into that champagne shade I keep talking about. This one right here from the Bold Obsessions palette. I'm just gonna take it on my finger. These are so soft. And press it onto my lid. Kind of just bringing it into the other colors. I'm going to go back in and blend some more brown into that shade, but look at that. This is not wet. I am going to wet it just to get an extra pop. So to wet that lid shade, I'm going to dip my brush in there. I always dip it into the powder before I spray my setting spray, because if you spray wet on the brush and then dip into the powder, it'll create like a weird texture in the powder. I'm just using the same Milani one. And then I'm going to pack this on the lid. To kind of fuse those together, I'm going to take this shade in the Most Loved Mattes, just kind of blend this into the middle, connecting that deeper brown with that champagne shade. So I'm still going to work on the lower lash line, but first I'm just going to add a black liner for the waterline. My favorite one is the LA Girl Glide On Gel Pencil. This one is by Maybelline because I need to friggin' get a pencil sharpener and just spend a few minutes sharpening all of my black liners. They all need to be sharpened, besides this one. I just used like 3 different liners because they all ran out. Now I'm going to go in with the black shade in here on a flat edge liner brush and almost like stamp it on under there. And I don't bring this all the way into my inner corner, or else it just totally kind of closes off my eyes. It's gonna look a little wild, a little off until I have my top lash line finished with liner and lashes and everything, but I'm gonna take a small blending brush and just go back with some of the shades we used on the top. So I'm gonna start out with this one right here. We're gonna do some top liner now to even everything out. I'm taking my Physicians Formula Eye Booster in Ultra Black. Make sure you get Ultra Black, not the regular black one. I kind of want to blur and like smoke this out. I'm putting on accent lashes in the corner, which I feel like has actually really been helping with the whole folded lid situation, because anytime I do a wing lately, even if it's a small wing, it just looks so off because my eyes fold right here. So what I've been doing to kind of get around that is either smoking out the line so it's like a blurred line, or putting on accent lashes because it just totally hides that but still gives you kind of the effect of having bigger eyes. So I'm going to take that same black and just smoke out this liner. Gives it kind of like a messier, smokier look. Okay, so the plan was to pop on these accent lashes. These are totally goners. These are dead. They are destroyed and used. I've used these so many times now, so I need to stock up on these because I love these ones. So I just went in with my other favorites by Allure. These are the number 121s. Now I'm going to go in with my same eyeliner and make sure the band is covered up. For bottom lash mascara, I always use Wet n Wild Mega Length, so that's what I put on. I actually want to go back in with the Physicians Formula thing and just use the whitest light shade right here as an inner corner highlight. Brighten everything up a little bit. Look at the difference that makes. As I was just pulling my lip stuff out of that box, I totally forgot about the contour shade I want to tell you guys I've been loving. This is the LA Girl Just Blushing in Just Because. If you have fair skin, this is a great contour that's like a few bucks. So I'm just going to add a little bit of definition. Got to use a light hand with this one so it doesn't look ashy. But you can get this online Ulta now. I'm not sure if they have it in stores too. Now I've got a little more cheekbones. So for lips, I think I did this combo during 15 Days of Foundation, but I've been really liking both of these products on their own. This is the LA Girl Nonstop Nude Liner. And then I'm going to top it off with the Maybelline Vivid Hot Lacquer and Tease. I love this shade. I feel like I use this like 10 times throughout the 15 days. Don't love the smell of this. This liner is super smooth feeling. Just kind of glides over. Then I'm going to go over this with the Maybelline product, and this feels like buttery smooth going on, this gloss. And as you can see, this is just lightening it way up. So this is the final look, doing a full face of some of my current favorite drugstore products. Let me know if you guys have tried any of these things, what you think of them. If you do try anything out, let me know what you think of it on Twitter, Snapchat, whatever. I always love hearing your guys' opinions on things I recommend because I want to see if we're on like the same page or what you thought of it, or if you have a different skin type, how it worked for you. So do let me know. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it. If you're new here, you can join the Bayrito family and subscribe. I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. It's weird saying that again now instead of every single day. But the wrap-up video is coming on Monday, and again, Foundation Friday this week will probably be the concealer video, so stay tuned for those. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.